Hi, my name is Nana and welcome to my channel, A Puzzling Lamb. It's finally the day that I have a Paperblanks puzzle review for you. I've talked about making this video for ages, but now it's here. So, Paperblanks is a company that makes journals, notebooks, bookmarks, all kind of different stationery, and of course, puzzles. Now, I often say that Paperblanks is my favorite puzzle company. Now, of course, that is a truth with modification, is that the saying? It always changes a little bit what my favorite puzzle brand is, but they are definitely in my top 5. And a big part of why they are one of my absolute favorites is the texture that is on the pieces. So you have foil and matte pieces and metallic pieces and shimmer on the pieces and all kind of stuff, which I will, of course, show you in this review. But before we get to the review, I want to show you my entire Paperblanks collection. And I have quite a lot. And let's start with the ones I have put together, which actually isn't that many compared to how many I have. I definitely have a big to-do pile of Paperblanks puzzles that I really need to do more of. No, wait, the first I want to show you is one that, I have done it before. I'll put up a picture here, but I don't have it in my collection anymore. I have sold it. So it's this Van Gogh image. Absolutely beautiful. The most difficult of all the ones I've done, and I also think of all the ones I have in my collection to do. Really a difficult puzzle, but because of that amazing texture that are on the pieces, it's just so beautiful that even though I struggled with it a bit, I enjoyed every moment of it. It was so beautiful to put together. But now for all the ones that I have still in my collection. So we have this one, Humming Dragon. So this is the artist and Android Jones. You can see the entire image here on the back of the puzzle. And this one is so beautiful, and I'm going to say that about all the puzzles. This one is just absolutely beautiful, and I actually think this is, of the ones I've done, the one that has like the most amount of different textures. So I remember that here inside the dragon's mouth, the pieces were not only matte but actually also a little bit rough, and it was just so beautiful. There were so many different textures on it. I believe I have some video of it. I'll put it up here. I'll do that for the ones I have some video about. But yeah, absolutely beautiful. And you'll see one more puzzle, I think, with Android Jones that I have in my to-do pile. Then we have this one, Madame Butterfly. Again, absolutely beautiful. So I believe that all of the images on the puzzles are images they also have on journals and notebooks. So they have entire series of these. So you can see here, for example, with the first one here, it's called Humming Dragon, but it's from the Android Jones collection. So you can search for that on their website and see all the products they have with him. And here it's that's the series, but beautiful. This one, of all the ones I've done, is probably the one that has the least amount of textures. It's more subtle, but it really fits with the image. It really suits the image. And then the last one of the ones I've done, so you can see I've only actually done 4 of the puzzles. But it's this piece from the Playful collection. And this is by the artist Laurel Birch, which I'm probably pronouncing incorrectly. And you will also see more puzzles with her art. So here you can see this is beautiful. This is actually a Christmas puzzle. As you can see, a subtle Christmas puzzle. You could definitely do this not around Christmas. And this box is empty because when I had done it, I took it apart in 24 sections and made it into an advent calendar that my mother can put together next Christmas. And now I have a giant stack of Paperblanks puzzles I haven't done yet. So again here, Laurel Birch, we have this one, Celestial Magic. Love the colors on this one. Can't wait to see how the pieces on this one looks. Oh, and I just noticed, that's the first time I noticed that. But see that moon there? That's the same moon that's on this puzzle. I have never noticed that before. I love that. And then, again, a Laurel Birch. We have this one, Jungle Song. I really love these Laurel Birch puzzles because when you know it, it's obvious it's the same artist, but they're also very different from each other. So really looking forward to this one also. Think this is going to be a little bit difficult, and this is a common thread with all Paperblanks puzzles, that the images are definitely on the more difficult side. But they are all beautiful. And then I have this one, Day Spring, with the most beautiful colors. Just look at that. It's just an explosion of colors. Again, really looking forward to this one. I really don't know why I haven't done more of these. Some of them I've had in my collection for quite a while. I really need to start doing them again. We have this one, Firebird. Absolutely beautiful. I know why I haven't done this one yet, and it's because it is scaring me a bit. I think it's going to be really difficult, but again, as with that Van Gogh one that was really, really difficult, I really didn't mind it because of the pieces. So even though I'm a bit scared about this one, I am really looking forward to it. Then we have an Android Jones, the same as the Dragon one I have already done. This is called Revolution, and I know someone who have put this one together, who sent me some pictures, and this one should be like extra beautiful, extra special with all the textures on the pieces. I think this might be one of the ones they have with the most textures and effects on it. So really looking forward to it. I can also think it's going to be quite difficult, but beautiful. And then we have a classic. So we have Klimt the Kiss. So I think probably everyone have seen this image, and I absolutely love this image, and you can get this image on a lot of different puzzle brands, but I wouldn't want to do it on anything other than a Paperblanks puzzle, or perhaps a wooden puzzle. But with cardboard puzzles, I knew that if I wanted to do this one, it had to be a Paperblanks puzzle, just because I think as a normal puzzle it would be really difficult, but also I think I'm really looking forward to seeing how all of this gold comes to life on these pieces. And now, all of the ones I've shown you so far have all been 1,000-piece puzzles, because until very recently they only made 1,000-piece puzzles. But this year they came out with some 500-piece puzzles. They came out with 3, and of course I had to buy all of them. So we have this one, Possibility, which not only is the first one one of the first 500-piece puzzles they have, but if I remember correctly, it's the first puzzle they have which are in landscape mode, because that is one of the things that is probably a slight negative for me with Paperblanks puzzles. you heard me complain about before with puzzles in portrait mode that I'm getting more and more tired of. You have to reach a lot further. But with how amazing these puzzles are on every other front, I can forgive them. But it's nice to see one here in a landscape mode. And I think this image is also just really cute and different. It's called Possibility from the Wonder and Imaginations line. So really looking forward to this one also. And then we have this one, which is really interesting. So this is Song of the Sea. So this is from the movie Song of the Sea, which is an absolutely beautiful movie. I highly recommend everyone to watch it. And this is also an amazing image. I haven't put this one together. My mother have actually put this one together. So I have seen it completed and it's really beautiful. I believe like all of these lines here in the water are foiled, and yeah, it's amazing, and I'm looking forward to putting it together myself. And now the last puzzle. Again, a Laurel Birch image, and this is the puzzle I'm doing in this video. So this is Blue Cats and Butterflies. You can see it here. Really a perfect combination of cute and beautiful. So the reason I decided to put together a 500-piece puzzle in this review is, as you saw, I haven't tried one of the 500-piece puzzles yet. But I have looked at the pieces. As I said, I saw the finished Song of the Sea puzzle, and the piece cut looks to be different from the 1,000-piece puzzles. So this way I get to review something that's a new experience to me. But I will, of course, also compare the 500-piece and the 1,000-piece puzzles and the cut of them. So let's just jump right into the review and see if I can capture on camera just how beautiful these pieces are. So the first thing I want to do is compare the 1,000-piece puzzle box and the 500-piece puzzle box. And as you can see, the design on them is exactly the same all the way around and on the back. So the only thing that's different is the size. You can see the 500-piece one is a bit smaller. And I was actually quite surprised when I saw this, because the 1,000-piece puzzle box is already so small that if they had just kept it the same, I would still have been very happy with it. So I'm really impressed that they made the box even smaller. I mean, this box for the 1,000-piece puzzle is already smaller than a lot of boxes for 500-piece puzzles with other brands. The only negative thing about this is that they don't quite line up on my shelf. It's not quite as pretty as if they were the same size. But I am not one to complain about a small puzzle box. I love it, and it's also just really cute. I mean, it's tiny. And also, just to show you how small this box is for the 1,000-piece, you can see now this is a puzzle I have done before. So the back here is one I found myself, and you can see there is absolutely no extra room. I mean, it's almost too small. You have to really pack the pieces in here. But this is a big positive for me with Paperblanks puzzles. Not only is the design on the boxes, which I will talk more about in a second, is absolutely beautiful, but the size of the boxes I love. No wasted space, and I also just think it feels really, luxurious. I keep wanting to say that word and I really can't pronounce it correctly. But, it just feels really, really exclusive and expensive with this small compact box. But let's take a closer look at this 500-piece one. And it is a lovely quality. It's nice and sturdy, just as the 1,000-piece puzzle box. The finish on the box is nice and matte, no glare. As you can see on the front here, we don't have the entire image. It is wrapping around on 2 of the sides. The image here, you have this little, it's not a sticker. And I actually like that. A lot of puzzle brands will put up this like graphic here as a sticker. And I don't like it. If you want it, print it on the box. Don't make it a sticker, because it can be really difficult to then remove the sticker if you don't want it there. So just, print it on, and they have done it. So you can see it says it's a 500-piece jigsaw puzzle. And then you have the name of the puzzle, blue cats and butterflies. And then Fantastic Felines is the line, the series that this image is in, and you have the Paperblanks logo. Now, as you can see here on one side, it wraps around and you have the logo again. So if you have the box on your shelf horizontally, this logo text, all this is the right side up, and then the same thing here on the other side. And I really do like that they've made this wrap around here on 2 of the sides. That's the sides I have on my shelves, and it's so pretty. I'll take a picture of my Paperblanks puzzle shelves. You can see how pretty that is when you have a lot of their puzzles. But then on the other sides, if you don't want that, you have here a more standard puzzle box size. So you have the logo and Paperblanks and a little tiny version here of the entire image, and again the same information as on the front and the other sides. And again, this turns, so if you have the box horizontally, but then on the other side they again have exactly the same, but then so it fits if you have the box this side on your shelf. And I actually really do like that you have that different options. Now on the back we have an image of the entire image. There's just this little tiny corner here that's covered. It just says premium quality blue board. And then on the side here, you have the artist name and the puzzle name, and then you have a little bit about the artist in different languages. And down here it says, unique printing process creates texture and enhances design, again in different languages. And that is a little hint for what is so special about these pieces. And then here you have the finished size of the puzzle. So this is 36 times 49 centimeters. And I think that's pretty standard for a 500-piece puzzle. And then obviously some of all the normal safety and all of that stuff. And I really like the design of this. I like that when you don't have the full image on the front, you have it on the back, and they have made it as big as they could on this puzzle box. I could go without this here, but I mean, it's a really small thing. Now, looking inside, you can see we have the pieces here, and you can actually see they're not packed quite as tightly as in the 1000-piece one. So if they had wanted to, they could actually have made this box even smaller, but I think this is a really nice box. Now let's take a look at the pieces in a moment, but as you can see, we have a poster. A nice size poster. I like this one. It's not too big, and it's also big enough, so it's a quite big improvement from the one you have on the back here. So yeah, I really like this one. On the back, there's a little bit more information here. You can see the other 500-piece puzzles they have, and I do have, as you saw, all of them in my collection. There's a little bit more information here that just talks about that they have other products. Yeah, nothing exciting really. But I do like that you can see some of the other puzzles here. And just, if I quickly pull out the poster from the 1000-piece puzzle. So you can see that is actually exactly the same size. And here you can see some of the 1000-piece puzzles they have. Now that I have these two posters next to each other, I actually think the poster for the 1000-piece puzzle is a bit sturdier, a bit thicker than this one. But this is still a great quality, but it is interesting that it's not the same quality. Now, I am actually quite curious to look at some of the other posters in the other 1000-piece puzzles I have to see if there is just, you know, a bit of difference, or if it's the same quality in all 1000-piece puzzles and this is the same quality in all 500-piece puzzles. I might check that. I'll put up a little info box with what I find out. But it's interesting. But it is a nice size. And I do also like, because for a 1000-piece puzzle, I also think this is a nice size poster. And I do like that they had decided to then make this one half the size. Yeah, it's a really nice size. But one thing also, and this is also really a small thing, so you can see that with the 1000-piece puzzle, the poster, when it's folded up, fits in here nicely. But with this one, it is, you know, it doesn't quite fit in, so it is being a little bit bent. Nothing major, but, you know, still worth mentioning. Now, what is it we have here? It's just talking about what to do if you are missing a piece. Yeah, and just in different languages. Now, let's look at the pieces. So they do come in a normal plastic bag. It's not resealable. Just put them in the box here. So right away, I can tell that the shape of the pieces is a bit different from their 1000-piece puzzles. But let's look at that in a minute. First, let's look at the textures. And I really hope the camera can pick this up. So as you can see, this one have like, it's really, really matte in this black, dark blue part. But then that gold is gold foil. You can see, let me just see, have one of these where that light section there is a lot more like metallic. You can see it has a little bit of a shine. You have another beautiful piece here. I really hope the camera is picking this up. I'll try to, when I do the puzzle, to really get some footage where you can see it, because this is really the main reason why I love Paperblanks puzzles so much. It is the textures. So you can find plenty of puzzles where, you know, there's gold foil or something on them. But here it's not just gold foil. So you have pieces, you know, that are completely matte. And then there's gold foil, there's metallic effect. I've even had a puzzle where there were some places where it wasn't just matte, but it was actually like rough. There were so many different kinds of textures, and it's always so exciting to see what they've done with an image. You can see, ooh, here you can really see that. Also, it's not just, you know, gold foil. You can see here, it's, I don't know how to explain it, but it's just really pretty, and you have some extra shimmer here on the side. And all the puzzles I've done, they've been really good at placing all of that where it really makes sense with the image. Yeah, okay, but let's then just take a look at the pieces. So I would say this is like standard thickness, perhaps even a little bit on the thin side. Again, I'm looking forward to, in a minute, compare these to the 1000-piece puzzle, because I feel like they might be a little bit thicker, but it does seem really sturdy. It doesn't seem like there'll be any problems with bent pieces, and I can't really see any damaged pieces right now. I also, okay, let me just take the pieces out here so I can look at them a little bit better. I also can't see any pieces that are stuck together. You know, you always get a bit of this, where pieces are stuck together wrong, but that's just how it is. I don't see anyone where they haven't cut all the way through. Now you can see we do have a lot of different, I think all the different P-shaped types. I'm actually, yeah, there. I was about to say I'm actually kind of struggling to find the standard P shape, but there are a lot of different P shapes and a lot of them. So, you know, it's not like the majority is the one, two in, two out, and then there's just a few of the others. Yeah, that looks good. But the thing about this, compared to the 1000-piece puzzle, is that when you do look, if you take two pieces that are the same shape, they do look very much alike. There's not much difference in the innies and outies. So I'm really excited to see whether I'll have a problem with false fits with this one. Because let's take a look at the 1000-piece puzzle again. Now, I'll try not to mix these puzzles up. But if you look at this one, let me just see if I can find a little bit here. You can see the pieces are a lot more, you know, varied, where these are all very straight, if you get what I mean. These have just, I know, they just look more varied in piece shape. And also, if we take some pieces here, let me just see if I can find it two in, two out here. So if you can see what I mean here, there's just happening a little bit more with this one. And admittedly, it's been a while since I put together a Paperblanks puzzle, but I do not recall having an issue with false fits. So yeah, that's really interesting. Oh yeah, the thickness. No, it actually does look, sorry, let me just show you. So this is the 1000-piece puzzle, this is the 500-piece puzzle, and it actually does look to be the same thickness. But yeah, they are actually a bit on the thin side, but they are really, really sturdy, so it shouldn't be a problem. Just to get this back in the bag, so I don't mix up the pieces. Though they would be pretty easy to tell apart. So I do find it interesting that they decided to make the cut a bit different. It's not uncommon for brands to have different piece cuts or just completely different pieces depending on the piece count, but still exciting to see if false fits will be a problem. Let's take a look at the image, because as you saw when you saw my collection, Paperblanks puzzles aren't the easiest of images, so you can see here with some of the background here, also perhaps some places here with the cats. If it's pieces with false fits, you could really notice it with this image. But let's see. Now, for strategy, I will probably put, oh, are there some pieces here that's not cut all the way through? Yeah, this one is not cut all the way through, but it's the first one I've seen. Anyway, I'll pull out all the edge pieces. It's probably not going to be an easy edge to put together. If I was speed puzzling, I definitely wouldn't put together the edge first, but I just really like to have it. So I'll put that together, and I don't know if I'll actually sort anything else right away, but when I've put the edge piece, perhaps I'll sort, I don't know, I'll see how I feel. But the butterflies will probably be sorted out as one of the first things, and I'll put that together. And perhaps also sort out all of these pieces that are just only blue background or almost only blue background, just so I can, you know, it'll be the last thing I put together, but then I can sort it out and put it to the side and don't have to, look through all of those pieces all the time to find other pieces. Then with the cats, there are actually different patterns on the cats. So depending on how clear that is, I think this is probably its tail here. But yeah, I'll probably sort them into the different cats if I can tell. Just trying to see. Could actually be a little bit difficult. But yeah, I don't know. I'll see. It's a 500 piece puzzle, so it's just not that many pieces to, just rummage through and pick out as you go. So I might also just not sort very much. We'll see. I will come back to you when I'm about halfway through and we can talk about if there are any false fits. And yeah, I'll try and get some footage so you can really see the beauty of these pieces. So this is where I'm at now. As you can see, I've done all of the easy parts. The butterflies and the cat eyes also really stood out. Now I am putting this puzzle together a little bit differently than I normally do, because since I'm filming, I'm using my big puzzle board. I don't normally puzzle on this, but since I'm using my big board and it's only a 500 piece puzzle, I decided to just lay out all the pieces directly on the board. I have plenty of room for that, so I'm not sorting it using sorting trays, which I normally would, but it's a lovely way to put together a puzzle this. Now I really hope that the camera is able to pick up these wonderful textures. I think perhaps if I do a little bit of this, you can see it. You can also see here the pieces are a little bit loose. Trying to give you an idea of this amazing texture that's on the pieces. You can see there are these gold foil with like some extra texture to them, and they are metallic pieces. They are more like shimmery, so this purple here has some like shimmery stuff to it. Yeah, it's just so beautiful, and it's just so difficult to capture on camera. You can see here I have all of that blue background pieces, and they're just completely matte with these small gold details on them. Yeah, such a beautiful puzzle. Now, false fits. They are there. You definitely have to really look closely. So especially at the edge, I had a few. I can usually see and also feel if it's wrong, but I definitely have some false fits, and you have to be careful about it. It's not like such a big deal that it's really annoying. What annoys me most about it is just that that's not a thing with the 1,000-piece puzzles. It's a shame they haven't used the same cut. Now, as you saw, the pieces are a bit on the loose side. That have for me always been the only negative thing about Paperblanks puzzles, because the fit is very much like it is on the 1,000-piece puzzles when it comes to looseness. Is that a word? Looseness. But I am really loving this. I don't mind that this is only 500 pieces, I have to say. You can see, I've put together the easy parts, but I do think I can sort a bit more. I have actually already grouped together some of these, the signature here. So perhaps I can just, here in real time, put this together like that. Yeah, and I don't know, I think perhaps some of that, the whiskers, is that what it's called? I think I can take out. I also think there are, obviously there are more butterfly pieces left. I actually think I see one here. I didn't mean this to turn into a real-time puzzling segment here. But yeah, I am really enjoying myself despite the false fits. But so far, except for the edge, the image, it is pretty easy to tell. I had one down here, I think I showed you, but otherwise, I can tell with the image when it's wrong. So it's also exciting to see if it is going to get frustrating with the rest of the cats here. Oh, one thing I think I forgot to mention when we took a look at the pieces in the beginning is that there is no paper backing. I can easily forget to mention that when there's no paper backing, but I really love this. It's nice that there's no paper backing. But yeah, I think what I'm going to do now is just go over all of these pieces, see if I can find more butterfly pieces, or other really obvious ones, like the ones around the cat eyes. And then the cats, and then this pile here, which hopefully won't be too difficult, but we'll see. I'll be back with my final thoughts once I'm done with the puzzle. I really hope that I was able to capture how beautiful these pieces are. And trust me, they are 10 times more beautiful in real life than what I could ever show you on camera. But first, let's talk about the image. I absolutely love this image. I love these colorful butterflies that were the first thing besides the edge that I put together. And just the color combinations, it was so beautiful. It's a difficult image. I wouldn't say it's the most difficult image that Paperblanks have. Of course, it's only 500 pieces, so that obviously makes it easier. But when I saw the image first, I thought it would be really easy to sort out these cats because they have different patterns on them. But then when I only had those pieces left, they all just look like a blue blur to me. But then often, as it often is, when I looked at them a bit closer, I could start to tell them apart. I could take this like swirly tail here apart, and there were different things I sorted. There's some of these like lines between the cats that are actually small dots. So here. So I took that apart also. And then obviously at the end, I had a lot of those blue background pieces left, but it wasn't that difficult. But I am happy that it was only 500 pieces. And also just in general with Paperblanks images, I don't mind that they are difficult because with the texture on the pieces, it just makes it into a wonderful experience anyway. And I also just want to spend a lot of time with these puzzles. But I can see why it would perhaps be a good idea for them to have some easier images so there are more people who would want to do their puzzles. But I also just really love that they started making 500-piece puzzles, because then obviously that makes the puzzle a lot easier. And it's also just always nice for a company to have a bit of variation. So there are something for everyone. Now, the box. You probably noticed I love the box. I just think they're beautifully designed. They are really great quality. You have all the information on them you need. I love that they've decided to make the front of the box more beautiful than practical, but you still have an image on the back that really couldn't be any bigger if it were on the front. There are some brands where if they do this kind of thing and then they do have an image on the back, but it's like half the size it could be on the box. Here they've really done the most with the space they have. And I also love that they made the 500-piece box smaller than the 1,000-piece puzzle box, even though they really didn't need it to. But I just love small boxes, so I can have a big collection of Paperblanks puzzles, but it's not taking up too much space on my shelf. And I also just think that this feels way more exclusive than a big box for some reason. One thing I forgot to mention in the review, because I had already opened this box when I got the puzzles and, took a little sneak peek at the pieces, but there were no plastic wrap on the box, but there are stickers here, plastic stickers that you need to cut. But I really like that. It would have been nice if the pieces came in a resealable plastic bag, but you can't have everything. And I do like that it's not shrink wrapped. And now for the quality of the pieces. So in general, the quality is amazing. The pieces aren't the thickest, but they are some of the sturdiest ones I've seen. Really, really sturdy. I had no damaged pieces at all. And there were only those 2 pieces I showed you that were still stuck together, that weren't cut all the way through. So that wasn't a problem at all. And as with puzzle dust, I really didn't think about it. I didn't mention it at all in my review, simply because I didn't think about it. There were probably a little bit, but it obviously weren't so much that it was anything I noticed. Now for the fit, both with this 500-piece puzzle and the 1,000-piece puzzles, the fit is definitely on the loose side. It's not the most crumbly I've ever experienced, and not something I really notice when I put the puzzle together. But yeah, it's worth mentioning. It's probably the only real negative thing I have to say, at least about the 1,000-piece puzzles, is the slightly loose fit. Now again, for negative. The piece cut on the 500-piece puzzles, as you saw, the piece cut is different. I do not recall with the 1,000-piece puzzles ever having an issue with false fits. And there were definitely false fits in this one. It was mostly the edge I struggled with. There were a part, I don't know if you saw it in the review, but where I thought I had the edge right, but then when I did the pieces that stuck to the edge, I saw that I hadn't put the edge right, so I had to rearrange that a bit. Now, false fits in the rest of the puzzle, there were a few times, and I will say I really were aware of it, so I also think that I, took an extra look at the pieces when I put a piece in to really check that it was right. So, for example, here when all I had were those blue background pieces, I actually don't think I had any false fits, but I think it was only because, I double checked. So if I hadn't been aware of the risk of false fits here, I would probably have had a lot more. Now, when I saw that the 500-piece puzzles had a different cut, I just assumed that, the 500-piece puzzles have a different cut. But when they released these 3 500-piece puzzles, they also released some new 1,000-piece puzzles, but I didn't buy any of them. So I just had the thought that I actually don't know whether it's only the 500-piece puzzles with a different cut, or if they changed it with all their puzzles, if all new puzzles they produce will have this new cut. So I did write to Paperblanks and ask them, and I wrote to them last night, so they understandably haven't gotten back to me yet. But when they do, I will write what they answer in a comment down below and pin it. But for now, I'm just assuming that it's only the 500-piece puzzles that are different. If you've tried any of the newest 1,000-piece puzzles, please let me know. But now for the thing that is the best thing about Paperblanks puzzles, and which is the reason why I love them so much. As you heard, there are a lot of reasons. It's genuinely good quality. They have a nice box. I love their images. But it is the surface of the pieces. They are so beautiful. And as I think I mentioned in the review, you can find a lot of puzzles that have some foil on them. But this is more than foil. It's the whole image that are different textures. And yeah, it's just so beautiful. I've never seen anything like it with that combination of different textures. And I also just think that they're so thoughtful with how they place it. So as I mentioned when I showed you my collection, some of them do have more of it than others, but it's just what suits the image. Oh, and one thing I've sometimes had with normal foil puzzles is where it's very obvious that that gold foil should go on that line on the image, but it's then printed a little bit off. Here it's just printed perfectly, so all that gold that is here is actually, the foil is actually on the gold part of the image. Yeah, love it. And it just can't be explained or shown on camera properly how it looks in real life. Now, the last but important thing is the price of these puzzles. So on their website, and I am on the European website, the EU website, I think they have some others, but at least on the European website, the 1,000-piece puzzles cost 24.95 euros, and the 500-piece puzzles costs 20.95 euros. And I think that is an amazing price for these puzzles. No, it's not the cheapest puzzles you can find, but it's definitely not the most expensive. For me and what puzzles normally costs here in Denmark, I would say this is probably in like the high end of the mid-price range, if that makes sense. And for what you're getting, I think that's just amazing. With the texture that are on the pieces, I would have expected these puzzles to be like really expensive puzzles, and they're just not, and I love it, and it's a big reason why I have so many of them. And the box is amazing quality, and there's a poster. Oh, I almost forgot about the poster. So when I had done this puzzle, and I was just sitting looking at it, and I had the poster next to it, I noticed that there were actually quite a bit of color difference from the poster to the puzzle. I'll try and take a picture of it and show you. The poster is lighter. The puzzle is printed quite a lot darker actually than what is on the poster and the box. I didn't notice at all when I put the puzzle together. It really was only when I'd done the puzzle that I noticed it. And I do not recall it being anything I noticed with all the other puzzles I have done. So I don't know if it is like that with all of them, if this one is just a little bit off. I would also say that there will probably always be a difference between the poster and the puzzle when there's so much difference in texture on them. I mean, the poster, you don't have all those effects on them, so obviously it will never be quite like the image. But yeah, worth mentioning. But again, it really didn't bother me when I put together the puzzle, but yeah, it's quite obvious afterwards. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, the price. Amazing price. I really do love it. And with shipping, so they do ship, again, I only know about the EU side, but they do ship to most European countries. And the shipping, at least to Denmark, and like what I could see quickly looking over the list, it does differ depending on what country it's shipping to. They do ship from Germany, by the way. So if you're in the EU, there's no extra import stuff, at least not for me. It's lovely. But the shipping cost is really great. It's about the same price that I would normally pay for something in Denmark to be shipped to me. So that price from another country is just amazing. But they also have a free shipping threshold, and it's actually so you only need to buy 2,000 piece puzzles or 500 and 1,000 piece puzzle, then you get free shipping. I don't think you're going to get it if you buy 2 500 piece puzzles, but it's actually anyway a really low threshold to get free shipping. So yeah, that's just amazing. You can see what it costs to the different countries on their website. I will of course link their website down in the description. So I really think that was all I had to say. If you have done a Paperblanks puzzle, please let me know what you think, and especially if you have done one of the newest 1,000 piece puzzles, let me know how the piece cut on that is. But as I said, when they write back, I will let you know in the comments. And yeah, please let me know if you would want to try one of these puzzles, or if you think that all the images are perhaps too difficult for you. But yeah, I highly recommend these puzzles. It really is one of my top favorite puzzle brands. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please leave a like and consider subscribing. See you next time.